This is Twit.
On Tuesday, everybody got their email saying end of software updates. So what is happening is if you have a product that was introduced between 2005 and 2011, and there is a list of products, and Sonos tells you which of your products will be affected, those devices after May will not receive software updates and new features. So Sonos has said, though, that they're looking at a way for you to create a legacy network where those devices will work, but they will no longer be part of a whole home system if you have newer devices in your home.
Yes.
The other thing to think about is those legacy devices. If like an API changes, like a Spotify API or Tidal changes something, it won't be updated.
Oh, no.
So it's possible that your Sonos, and likely that over time, your Sonos gear from that era will become less useful to you. It will gracefully degrade.
Gracefully or not so gracefully?
Well, I mean, it's graceful in the sense that it's not going to shut off in May.
Yeah.
Right? They're not, but over time it is going to become less useful. So
then they offer for a discount on new stock. Okay,
I did.
Yes. And then they have the options. You have options. Continue using legacy products.
Yeah.
Scream on Twitter.
Or that is not an option. Trade up legacy products. Save 30% on the new product when you upgrade through the Sonos Trade Up program.
Right.
Then it's subject to terms and conditions. Some of those terms and conditions are not awesome. But the reason why, and this gets to something like, I sold my Play 5, my original Play 5 Studio device, a month ago online.
That person's pissed.
Exactly. And I'm really sad. So I understand
that was their point. Yeah.
Why they don't, like, if I were not an ethical individual, and I told my husband, I was like, don't recycle, don't do that because you're going to screw this person over. So just sell it and make sure they understand that they're buying a first generation product.
I just looked at the email.
How many things are yours?
How many things?
The Connect in the Den, the Bridge, the Connect living room, the Play 5 bedroom, the Play 5 bathroom, the Play 5 kitchen, the Play 5 bedroom, the Play 5 kitchen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh.
9. In fact, I think of all of the Sonos devices I have, only a handful will continue to work. No, they're gonna work. They're just not gonna, they might degrade. See, this is the disconnect, because I thought many did. We were buying speakers. We weren't buying speakers. We were buying computers. And like any computer, like a Chromebook after 8 years, like an Android device after 3, like an iPhone after a few, they go out of date.
Was it a proprietary Wi-Fi or was it? So that's the problem. It
was. And no, that's the only way they could do that at that time. That was their secret sauce. They later on, when they did the Play 5, built a whole new speaker system and chip for that, which was really exciting.
So those will presumably last longer, but there's still no guarantee, right?
No, there's no guarantee. And here's the issue, or here's one of the issues. Speakers and audio are actually, media is difficult because codecs change all the time. Right. So it's not like all of the other, if you release a product, how long do you want to be on the hook to support it? And that's a legit question. And people think of things like speakers, thermostats, light switches as devices that should last forever. And what we're running into is the fact that they are computers. So what do you replace? And how smart do you want this to be? A standard will help here. So I was talking to somebody about the idea of the connected home over IP standard that Apple, Amazon, and Google have said they're going to work towards. Something like that wouldn't help exactly in this situation. You'd need like audio standards. But I also think, is it possible for Spotify to say, hey, X percentage of our listeners listen on Sonos devices. Maybe we'll keep a version of that API stable for Sonos users. This gets into this idea that what we're actually building are services, not individual products, and that they're part of an ecosystem of relationships that need to be maintained over time.
Right. This is something you deal with all the time in IoT. And these are really just early IoT devices. They're maybe among the earliest of the IoT devices.
So did you see Richard Lawler's piece on Engadget?
No, tell us about it.
His headline is "The Morning After Sonos Legacy Plan Makes Smart Homes Look Silly." They put that on there just for the sake.
Yeah, because we're all good. This is going to happen to everybody, right? For everything.
This is, for years, this is why I've been asking companies, and we did this on the show today. So if you listen to my show, you're going to hear this all over again. So skip ahead. In either show, I don't care. Companies have been telling people that connected devices are amazing because you can add features over time. Yes, your oven gets better. Your, Amazon Echo gets better over time. The flip side of that is at some point in time, it will get worse. And companies need to be mandated to tell you when these things expire. Because right now we don't have a
lot
standard.
Of these, I'm looking, I bought 2 years ago. So
if you bought it 2 years ago, and it's being end of life, because they're saying if you bought it from a Sonos, like a legit Sonos dealer.
So I have, you see, this is why I should be shot. I bought way too many. So I have 5 modern products and 11 out of life products. I bought way too much Sonos.
Wow.
So, but now I'll never buy. I'm not going to upgrade these because it's going to happen again. You just killed me as a customer, Sonos. Dead. I'll ride this one down and I'll never buy another Sonos product again.
Jim Lauterbach went crazy on Facebook about it. He was just so enraged.
I have never seen this has happened a bunch of times. Also in the great bricking of yesterday, UA, Under Armour said they were going to brick their Under Armour Connect devices. It's a scale, it's a bunch of other stuff. And they weren't going to let people export data, which was a problem. And then last week we had Charter Spectrum say that they were going to kill their smart home security service, which includes thermostats, sensors, cameras, etc. And people who invested and leased that equipment, they're obviously upset because they're out thousands or a couple hundred.
How many people have taken advantage of the trade up? Because it's 30% off, but
30% is not much.
That's not much on these expensive devices.
Yeah, that's the problem with this stuff. It's always been overpriced.
And by the way, some of this, I don't think they even make some of this stuff. I don't know what I would trade up to.
No, some of them they don't. Because remember, and I think we talked about this a year ago, they stopped making, I think it was the Connects.
I have a bunch of Connects. I have Boosts, and I have Docks, which they stopped making also.
Stacey is so right that what there should be is an industry principle of ethics of giving you some kind of warranty of what you're going to get. Note that Google just said for new Chromebooks, not all of them though, new Chromebooks, they're going to update for 8 years, which I think is even longer than they need to. But
Microsoft does Windows 10 years, but there's no end of life on the hardware. It's just on the operating system. So you could then put Linux or even a newer version of Windows on there. So wait a minute, 7 devices ready to recycle. Should I push this button?
Did you just no?
Because it'll brick them.
Well, I think you have 30 days.
You're not going to upgrade, are you?
Well, no, they're all in operation right now.
Well, then let them
let them be.
Let them be.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to know. So this is the thing. I want to know. Well, what is it going to be replaced with, and how much is that going to cost me? Do I have to brick it before I can find out? Because they haven't told me yet. I've just checked all the boxes, and then it says recycle selected.
Stop! Don't do that.
Okay, but I want to know.
Stop, Dr. Strangelove.
I want to know what it's going to cost me to replace these.
Then stop. Go look online for products.
But what do they propose to replace the Connects with?
Okay, that is a decent question. What is it? The Connect function ties your.
It basically means you can use your own speakers. It's the Sonos part of the Sonos system minus the speakers. So you connect it to the internet and you connect it to your speakers, and now it's not an amp; it's just an interface to streaming music. But I like that. I have that in my living room, and I have on my stereos. Right?
Yes. So Connect. Okay, Connect.
That doesn't matter. I'm not. The point really here is if you're using, the smart thing to do is replace this with 10 Google Home Maxes.
Oh, God, no, that is stupid. Replace it.
I just said that so she could say that. I just wanted to say
Okay, so the Amazon has a speaker input thing, so you could buy that, and that's like $25 a pop.
But does it work with Sonos?
Oh, you want it to still work with Sonos?
Well, yes, I have this whole Sonos. John, we're going to have the same problem. These are all Sonos Play 5s. They're all going to be out of date. He doesn't care because.
But again, they'll keep operating. They just won't update.
And we don't use them with Spotify. We use them with our own music library. So who cares, right? Yeah, they'll still work as speakers.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're running this against like a NAS drive or something, you're
then
fine.
That's fine. Okay.
I feel like the Sonos amp is what you would use with your speakers.
Yeah, but that's a little more than a Connect because it includes an amplifier.
Yeah, I know it's a little.
I
think that's your option.
Yeah, I know. You know what? This has honestly been brewing for a while. Sonos had discontinued the dock, which I used with I had a 30-pin dock for your iPhone, and I had an adapter to work with Lightning. But I guess it kind of works. And then these Connects, they never replaced them. The Boost, I don't think they ever replaced the Boost. In fact, they don't even know I have a Boost.
They're like, what is this weird product?
It's an unauthorized
in other words,
Boost.
they were throwing some stuff against the wall, and it never really, it slid down. Nowadays, though, correct me if I'm wrong, Stacey, there are a number of devices that duplicate this whole house music feature.
Oh, yes. You can get lots of devices that do this.
This isn't hard to do this. I kind of knew when I was spending thousands of dollars for what was, let's be honest, only an okay speaker system, that I was getting hoodwinked. I knew that even then. It just was convenient.
It was convenient, and the value was, when they created Sonos, it was really exciting because the internet was, this was the early days of the internet. You got to, this was 2005.
And I had some great parties because we could turn all the speakers. I had 2 great parties. We could turn all the speakers on, and the whole house was rocking. That's why I ended up getting those outdoor Sonos that they just offered, which I have yet to use. They just kind of sit on their charging stands because nobody ever comes over anymore.
So Sonos stock is down 2.3% today, but it's still higher than it was a year ago by a considerable amount.
Yeah, that's only because until recently, everybody thought this over for Sonos. Everybody, because they don't have any secret sauce anymore. No. And everybody assumed that Amazon's Echo and the Google Assistant would kind of eliminate the need for Sonos, period.
So what's the great update that they think that they're going to make that makes this worthwhile, pissing off all their customers?
Amazon Echo.
Well, no. They just...
No, what's the thing that
they're
Sonos
adding
says?
Echo capability.
Oh.
I can talk to my Sonos now. I have Google Assistant and Echo in it. That's the new stuff.
They've also expanded their product line significantly for things like the IKEA line. They have the IKEA line of connected speakers.
Do I look like somebody who would buy IKEA speakers?
I don't think they're cute. Although Kevin said, the bookshelf one is fine.
Do I look like a college kid?
We
Sonos
decorated our entire home in IKEA.
I'm just teasing. I buy a lot of stuff at IKEA, but I get somebody
IKEA
else to
is the reason
it.
we went to Sweden on vacation. I was so amazed with.
Oh, IKEA is amazing, and those meatballs.
Meatballs, right?
So good. Do you have? Do the speakers come in a flat pack and you have to assemble them?
No, they just. They're already made. Look, Google the IKEA bookshelf speaker, Sonos speaker. They're cute.
I think it would be, though, in hindsight, a bad idea to buy any more Sonos gear.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that, I don't know.
Oh, they are cute. They're little lamps.
Oh no, those are hideous. But the lamps are. But the bookshelf one is cute. The Symfonisk bookshelf.
Symfonisk.
They always have to give them weird Swedish
names.
Yeah. You don't like the lamp?
No, the lamp is hideous. What is that? No. Good.
Yeah. I like how they put it next to a bunch of candles that actually have been used, which is interesting.
You asked me an actual question, but I don't remember what it was.
That's because we keep interrupting.
We were having IKEA fun.
We're having too much fun with IKEA.
Oh, West Elm sells Sonos gear. Who knew?
And they're pretty inexpensive. There's a West Elm just down in San Rafael here. But I'm just. What is the what am I have? What do I have? Get a Raspberry Pi and some clip horns and do it myself? What is the alternative? I put an open hab
wires.
No, well, for speakers,
pliers. Yeah, is there?
Okay, so there's the Echo input.
I could put those all over the place, and those drive those will drive a powered speaker system. So you could then get nice powered speakers, which will never become obsolete because they're just speakers.
Right. And that's the idea. That's kind of like why I don't want a smart TV. I like having my Roku box.
Yeah, because you can upgrade that.
So that's this. For Google, Google doesn't have anything like
Actually,
like
the Google
the Echo.
Hub Home Max is a really nice speaker.
It's a great speaker.
It is as good as any of my Sonos speakers.
But aren't they already built in? Like,
Yeah.
aren't you? I'm trying to help you use your existing built-in speakers.
So I could still use, if I don't do the trade up, I could use all of the Sonos speakers as plain old speakers, right, John? I'll just connect them as we're going to do here and have the source be Spotify until that's deprecated or whatever, and then I'll use something else. I'll use.
And there's a
own
company
music.
called Blue Sound that does wireless sound around your home.
Yeah.
So you could.
I suspect there will also be third. What was when the Pebble went out? There was a Rebel, right? This third-party firmware that you could try to keep your Pebble watch working.
Well,
there'll be
Ronos. There's
better than Bonos.
These are expensive, but the Blue Sound system has something called the Node 2i.
But see, that's going to have the same problem, isn't it? Because it's going to be some proprietary protocol that will someday be obsoleted.
Yeah, this you connect to an amplifier of AV receiver or any powered audio. So this does this.
Yeah, and then you would replace the Node sound. This is the Roku in your analogy, basically. And then you use. Oh, it's $549.
It is expensive. Yes, I would. My caveat here is these are high quality audio products and priced as such. I mean, when you get into that, I mean, like I remember my dad buying a Rotel amplifier. I think it was.
Yeah.
And I
had my Rotel.
God, I wanted to go to college, Dad.
But it's a Rotel, honey. I had a Rotel amplifier with a Proton television. That was the state of the art in 1980.
What junkyard is that in now?
Yeah. So, you know what? It is really kind of foolish to say, oh, Sonos, how dare you obsolete these? This stuff, it's electronics. But
it goes back to your original point, which is as these companies are whining about Google and Facebook and Twitter, they're doing things themselves.
Yeah, they're all just as bad. Sonos is suing Google because they dared to compete with Sonos by creating full house sound.
For $25.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really true. In fact, really, and maybe you can help me with this, Stacey. At some point, I think I'm going to give up on the whole idea of, Chip, this new alliance and all that, and just pick a winner and say, I'm going all in on Amazon, or I'm going all in on Google.
If you pick a winner, my suggestion to you, do you have an iPhone?
Yes. I also have an Android phone.
Of course.
Oh.
Do I have an
He has every phone ever made.
No, I don't have any phones.
So I would say if everyone in your house is on an iPhone,
Yes,
pick HomeKit. It's local.
HomeKit.
It is the easiest to use. I personally don't like it just because I have issues with Apple, but from usability.
Siri is so stupid.
Well, yeah, that does leave you with Siri. But you can do a lot just from your phone, and you could just set the automations. And then you can have your Googles for useful things.
Actually, they're very good with the automations. The shortcuts and everything actually are better than anybody's, I think.
Exactly. So so if you set that up, most of your stuff and a lot of your HomeKit capable stuff can be also linked to Google. So you could have.
Yeah, because I have Google Nest cameras. I have a Google Nest doorbell. I have Echoes everywhere, but I've kind of duplicated functionality in every room, so there's an Echo sitting next to a Google. In some cases, next to Cortana. In some cases, next to a Home Hub. My kitchen has all four in the kitchen.
What's your electric bill in a month?
Oh, you don't want to know.
I should plug my Insight switch in and see how I don't think they use that much electricity. But this is, I don't know about Leo's.
I feel like this is all inevitable. And I understand Jim Louderback's anger. I'm a little miffed because we all spent a lot of money on Sonos, but really we were the suckers even then. That's
what I said. I never bought them.
You're right.
I never bought. I didn't say anything to you guys. I didn't make fun of you, but I always thought this S is overpriced.
Well, and I'm being honest when I said we only use the whole house sound.
Right.
Very rarely, once in a while. And in that case, we're listening in a single room when anything would work fine in a single room.
It's possible that this is their attempt. So Sonos is having trouble competing against Amazon and Google.
Yeah.
And it's possible they need to rally the troops, condense their resources, kind of bring all their resources in-house to focus on some sort of strategic differentiation, at which point they looked at supporting all of this and said, hey, that's going to cost us, X dollars a year that we just don't have. So we're willing to take this hit now, jettison the legacy stuff that we don't have the means to support, and then push forward with something else. They just might be between a rock and a hard place.
I think
and
you're
again,
right.
When we say obsolete them, it's really clear. I mean, it's important to say, and I that's why I would like for you to keep yours going, Leo, is we don't know how it's going to fail and how long it will take. It may not take.
Why throw it out if it works? It still works.
Yeah, it may just be a feature you don't care about.
Right. I don't use Spotify.
And any feature you're likely to care about, Amazon's going to have.
Right.
And you already have it in every room.
And that may be when you want to upgrade. And you may, like, the next Sonos that they're, like, deciding to, like, focus on and build may be so amazing that you're like, well, holy crap, I'm back in.
Unlikely.
Well,
but who knows?
I think we're going to see this debate play out 100 times in the next few years as consumers run into these walls. Philips Hue has already told people that they are not going to support their hubs beyond 3 years after purchase. So a lot of the smart home companies are coming out and saying, okay, this is how long you can expect us to support this. And I think that's a maturation thing. And we all need to figure this out, both as the buyers of this stuff and as the salespeople.
Feels like it's just another nail in the coffin of home automation and IoT. Like,
and it could
I think
be.
consumers are kind of aware now. This is Microsoft pissed everybody off because they said, yeah, we're not going to update Windows 7 anymore. And people went, but, and I hear people complaining about 8 years on Chromebooks. I hear people complaining about 3 years on Android phones.
Complain about 8 years on a Chromebook?
Well, that's the expectation. Time. We're changing our expectations right now about what and where we should stick smarts and computers in our products.
Here's why it's offensive in general, and offensive to me, is the physical hardware is fine. It's not worn out. The speakers work, the Chromebooks work, the phones work.
It's economical. It's ecologically.
It's an ecologic nightmare. They're all going in landfill, even though, see, a car wears out. A refrigerator wears out. These things are not worn out. They're pristine. In most cases, they have not in any way gotten worse. In fact, you could probably argue the speakers actually sound better. Well, what's worn out is the software.
Well, no, they're arguing, and I don't know how true this is because I'm not seeing their update sizes, but they're arguing that there's not enough processing power and memory to do some of the new features. So
yes, but now that's the same argument with why Microsoft doesn't support Windows 7 is that times have moved on, and so we need to move on. We're not going to support the old stuff because we want to do new stuff, and that's technology. I just think that consumers, it may be that our frame of reference is old school. Oh, it's hardware; it shouldn't wear out. When it should be, oh, it's software. Of course, it wears out. But it's somehow offensive, I think, to a lot of people, certainly me.
Oh, it's totally offensive.
Because it's perfectly good hardware.
And that's why I think manufacturers have a huge role to play in changing the conversation and talking about expiration dates for these devices. Because otherwise people buy it thinking they're buying hardware. Because people, we're smart, but we don't want to think. When you buy something like this, when you buy a speaker, you don't want to think about all of this. You don't want to think about privacy and two-factor and, how long it's going to last and when's my next software update. You want it to work. And this is a huge branding challenge for the smart home and all the companies building these products. And the challenge also is if Sonos comes out and says, hey, we're going to support our speakers. If you buy this today, this has a 10-year useful life, let's call it. I'm going to look at that, and then I'm going to look at like the blue speakers, whatever, the blue sound stuff. And if they don't have that same information, I'm probably going to buy the blue sound because I'm like, well, they're not going to stop supporting it in 10 years when maybe they only have a 5-year term, but they bury it in terms and conditions.
Right. Plus, a company can just die.
Yeah, I don't think Sonos even knew that this would happen.
No, this was not. Well, I think they knew that people were going to be unhappy about this. I don't think going in when they designed
I
the
bought
product.
those speakers, they couldn't say, "Oh, this is only we're only going to support them for 10 years." They didn't say that,
right?
And they didn't.
But they could have designed differently. They could have designed more modularly.
Modular. You're right, and that's kind of what you're talking about.
Keep the speaker. Plug in this, more memory.
That's why you don't buy a smart TV, because you can. It's cheap to upgrade a Roku while the screen's still good. It's because we still have this durable goods mentality, that there's some things like a television and a computer are durable goods, like a refrigerator are durable goods. Those things should last. Software is not a durable good, so make it modular. Though
people don't like modular.
No, I bought a Samsung OLED TV. It was $10,000 when the OLEDs first came out. It had no electronics inside. It had a box that attached to it that was in theory upgradable, but of course they never updated it. They never upgraded it. There is no replacement, because by the time they were going to do that, well, there's better OLEDs now. So
much cheaper.